Am I the whole for walking away from my family after my mom drained my finances, favored my brothers over me, and threatened to turn the whole family against me? Until a month ago, I, 33F, haven't spoken to my mom or most of my extended family in over 2 years. Shortly after COVID hit, I found myself stuck in my apartment alone, working from my living room for over a month. I saw that interest rates were low, and I thought this was finally my chance to help my family have a stable home. We lost our childhood house in the 2008 crisis after my dad passed away, and my family had bounced around rentals ever since. I called my mom, asked where she wanted to live, and got the process started. I let her pick the house, worked with my friend as the agent, and I fronted the down payment and closing costs. The deal was simple. I'd buy the house with my credit and funds, and they'd cover the monthly mortgage and their living expenses. It was my way of doing my part to help the family. I didn't flaunt it or tell anyone but those closest to me. If anyone asked, I told them it was my mom's house, not mine. We moved in, and I initially covered everything: mortgage, insurance, HOA, and utilities. My mom switched jobs, so I continued to cover things for about 6 months, feeling like I had no choice. But then she pushed for home upgrades, painting, new floors, fixtures, charging them to my card with promises of paying me back that would never happen. Then I took a pay cut to join a new job that was better for my mental health, and the financial strain became unbearable. I lived in the smallest room, didn't have a car, struggled to afford food, while my mom earned more than me and still contributed nothing. She was simply spending all her money paying for my other brother's 34M apartment to support her only grandson, 8M, and mismanaging the rest on her hobbies and personal projects, which I was fined $1,300 for from HOA. I knew as long as I was there she would force me to take care of the bills. I gently pushed to leave the house, so they'd take responsibility for payments. 8 months after buying the home, I moved back near my work and slowly furnished a new apartment, excited to get back into a healthy routine. But every few months, my mom stopped sending money for the mortgage without warning. I'd only find out when I saw my account draining. When I confronted her, she'd guilt-trip me or promise to pay later, but it kept happening. The last 2 months of my lease, she sent nothing. I couldn't afford renewing my apartment lease and covering the mortgage, so I had to sell everything and move back into the smallest room of the house, even though I was paying for the whole thing. A few months later, my mom decided to quit her job to go back to her old employer, saying so she can make more money to be able to help me with the house, although I knew it was a lie. She wouldn't send me money. It was because she didn't want to adjust her lifestyle to a lower salary. After she left, my husband and I tried to move into the master bedroom, which only had her empty furniture in it. She lost it. She demanded we remove her furniture so my brother could sell it, instead of letting us use it. She was furious at the idea of me moving into her room and wanted to just let my brother's dogs live in that room because she wanted to do that for my brother and his girlfriend, even though I pay for the entire house. She threatened to turn the whole family against me, saying I'd become the next black sheep like my uncle who abandoned his wife on her deathbed, and she would make sure of it. I was shocked and couldn't believe how she was treating me. 2 weeks later, one of my brothers and his girlfriend moved out overnight, stealing my washer, dryer, kitchen appliances, and half my workout equipment. They left a mountain of trash, unpaid bills, and a garage full of boxes floor to ceiling, with rotting food and mouse feces and urine that destroyed everything. My brother's girlfriend didn't like him killing the mice. My husband and I spent days clearing it out, finding ruined family photos, mementos, generational accolades, and everything else simply destroyed. My eldest brother stayed and helped me with the mortgage every month as part of renting his room. To make things worse, my mom called my best friend and likely every family member to spread lies about my husband, saying she didn't trust him, he was using me, and probably cheating on me. She explained to her how my brothers needed more help than I did, and insinuated that I was selfish for not being willing to pay for everything, even though I couldn't afford it, nor did she explicitly ask me to take on that responsibility. Only my best friend told me what she was saying about me. Not one family member called to check in on me or hear my side. They just told her to let me learn from my own mistakes, but I could feel their judgment whenever I was around their presence. Through all of this, my husband was my rock. He poured himself into fixing the house, supporting me emotionally, and helping me stand my ground. Our first years of marriage should have been about love and adventure, but instead, we were stuck with a home we didn't choose and a mountain of problems we didn't create. Without him, I might have kept sacrificing myself to my family's toxicity. When I blocked my mom and my brother with a girlfriend, I made it clear to my other brothers that without an apology, I'll never speak to them again, and have been no contact the entire time. My mom finally reached out 2 years later to my eldest brother around Christmas, saying she wanted him to tell me she wanted to talk and to fix things. When we finally talked, she only called to get some information she needed, then tried to end the call without even apologizing. When I confronted her, she gave a reactive, "I already said I'm sorry," only after I pointed out she never actually said it. She minimized everything, saying the family reached out to her, not the other way around, as if that erased the fact she fed them all her version of events. I told her the damage was done. I'd keep the few relationships I still valued, but I wanted no part in the family as a whole. I, who was often seen as a leader and an extension of my mom, would have been one of the few in the family who was capable of bringing everyone together, something my mom would plead the greatest importance, so we don't lose the closeness of our family. But I have zero interest in being that person anymore. I mourned the loss of my family for 2 years. I grieved the idea that all my success and hard work were meant to support them, only to be betrayed. But now, I feel ready to let go completely. I know that when I start my own family and have my first child, she's going to be really hurt if I don't involve her. But right now, I don't want her to be. I just don't know what the right thing to do is, or if it even matters after everything she's done. Am I just being in a hole and holding a grudge? Is it wrong to let go completely? Or am I just finally protecting myself from people who will never take responsibility for how deeply they hurt me? Edit. Thank you all for being straight with me. To be clear, I never missed a mortgage payment and my credit wasn't ruined. I always made sure bills I assumed financial responsibility were paid by moving money around, but my mom essentially drained any usable cash I had available, including my savings. The debt I had to carry, I balance transferred to a card with a promotional 0% APR and spent 6 months paying it down. The debt was paid before we got married. Both my husband and I have excellent credit, over 800, and now we have close to 400K in equity because we didn't just immediately sell the house. His biggest gripe was that because of the house obligations, we didn't have as much time to do outdoor activities/sports. It was a great learning experience, nonetheless. I didn't call the cops on my brother and his girlfriend because they work for the government, and I knew the drama would escalate even more and would solidify the permanence of really cutting my family off, which at the time I wasn't ready for. My family and I were very close-knit the entire 30 years of my life before I bought the home, and I loved them so much. I had no reason to doubt that they wouldn't help me out until the truth revealed itself. I get that it's pretty clear to stay away, but I come from a minority family that practices a collective culture. You make decisions for the family as a whole, not just for yourself, which is why I still hold this worry if I'm doing the right thing. Despite how valid my reasonings, it hurts because I'll still be seen as the bad guy in their eyes because I'm not sacrificing my needs for theirs. My mom saw my brothers as less capable, so it was an excuse why they needed more help than me. I've also tried talking to multiple therapists regarding this, and no one seems to understand this particular cultural pressure/conflict/guilt. But I appreciate the perspective many of you have given that it is more important to protect the safety of my future family.